Arjun, we were discussing this earlier. I was saying when I'm doing a deeper search, I now use AI because I think I'm going to get a more accurate result. But the reality is the hallucinations are getting worse, not better. So if we're relying more on these search engines, they really need to step up pretty soon.
Yeah, just personally, I'm still very cautious about using some of these AI chatbots in search. And, you know, it almost takes more time because I then have to go and verify through usually Google and other links via Google that actually what the chatbot is saying, the information is given, is actually true. And so, you know, Google's gone for an interesting approach in that it's trying to find a middle ground. It realizes that AI is here and AI search is here to stay and that it will form a large part of the future. And so they've gone with these kind of AI summaries at the top, and they sort of give you bullet points. At each end of each bullet point is a link to the source of that information, which is quite helpful. But I think that's the short-term game. The longer-term game is how does Google figure out how to monetize AI search? So right now, it's obviously making billions of dollars in advertising revenue from search, sponsored ads, et cetera, et cetera. But how does it do that in a world of AI? Because if you imagine you're using a chatbot, you search something, and you get fed a result that is sponsored in the AI, does that erode trust in the product?
And what do the regulators do with that?
And what do the regulators do with that? And so is that really a viable option? The other option, of course, is some sort of subscription service. But I just can't see a world where people are going to pay solely for search. And so I think Google's going to have to come out with something a lot more fuller with Gemini, something that can really compete with the likes of Perplexity and OpenAI as well.
There is a natural follow-through, and I did actually search something that was not in the homework camp, that was in the advertising side, but I did it on Meta to see what they would come up with. Because, I mean, don't forget, Instagram is a big library of information on things that you may want to buy, you may want to mimic, and you can search easily now on Meta. But the reality is there's no follow-through on any purchase decision. It's very hard to then get to an e-commerce site and make that final checkout purchase. It's just the connections are not there yet. But to your point, how does Google maintain the moat when there are so many other areas, Amazon, Meta, Perplexity, OpenAI, Anthropic? I mean, how does it maintain what it has now?
Well, just to speak to some of those competitors, because I think it is key. I think Amazon has a very strong position because what it's sort of become is the default search engine for shopping. A lot of people go direct to Amazon to search for product, and there is the ability to follow through on that intention to purchase because it's an e-commerce site. So I think Amazon has a pretty strong position there. Likewise with Meta, it's got a very good position again with sort of AI and search and information more broadly because of WhatsApp in particular. And we've seen from using the product that Meta AI is now an option there on WhatsApp. And given WhatsApp is an app that you interact with multiple times a day to communicate, it almost feels like a natural place you would just kind of be in to use some of those services. And that is really the challenge for Google. What does it do from here? And I think key to its efforts have to be Gemini and making that a core product. One thing we can't discount is Android. And the Android operating system. Remember, this is on around 80% of the world's smartphones. And so if Google can leverage Gemini AI within Android, it will have an almost ready-made market for that product. We've seen Samsung with its latest devices lean heavily on Google's AI and lean heavily on Gemini as well. And it'll be interesting if other smartphone makers follow suit to the point where just like Chrome is the default search engine on Android devices, does Gemini become the default AI on Android devices, which, you know, given how critical mobile phones are to our lives, that could be a big boon for Google.